Genius take the wheel, this time with the top down. So let's start this post-training stream so I can go home and watch the second half of the New York Mets game. Let's enter in the traffic safely. All right. Welcome to episode 242. I'm Dr. Evil Genius, and today is a glorious spring day, April 20th, 2025. And today is a good day, let me tell you. Today is a good day, y'all. And it's weird because I did not think today was going to be that good until I got to the gym and started warming up. So last night I hosted night one of the Filthy Casual WWE WrestleMania 41 watch party last night on the Talking Shit podcast. The link to that channel is in the description down below. And we are going to be covering night two. So I'm going to give you my thoughts here on this channel of what I thought of WrestleMania 41 night one. And then, well, first I'm going to talk to you about my experience in the gym today. So last week I had to pick up Mrs. Evil from Penn Station because she ran the Jersey City Marathon, and I had to pick her up. And so I had to kind of truncate my training. I actually changed around some of the numbers on my sets and rep scheme so that I can do satisfactory work while also I think I'll stay here. So I could do satisfactory work while also making it to the train station to pick her up in enough time where she would not be standing around on sore legs for long periods of time. So I went up to 245 and went down to sets of 6 on the deadlift to accommodate that. I also went up to 245 pounds on the barbell back squat to accommodate so that I could save time but still do a lot of work. So this week I had a choice because Major League Baseball makes it very difficult for Mets fans to watch the games when the games are on local TV. So I wanted to get to the gym early today so I could finish my work early so I can get to the start of the game and watch it on my actual cable box, since watching it on the local cable television, the local over-the-air network is just not fun. So so I ended up leaving later than I wanted to, specifically because I really struggled to eat today. Today was one of those bad days where I looked at my breakfast. It took me over an hour to eat it. Awful. Yesterday I had a great time. It took me like 13 minutes to eat my breakfast. It took me over an hour today. I just did not want to eat. And I thought that was going to be a bad omen for today's training, because normally when I struggle to eat before training, my body doesn't really respond very well. While I'm warming up, getting to my warm-up sets. Kratos is in the building. I will check out your comment when it is safe for me to do so. So, I got out of the house about an hour and a half later than I intended. And then I thought I was going to have a bad time finding parking, because here in New York City, especially in the Times Square area, if you wait too long on Sunday mornings, when you get to your spot, or you get to the area that you want to park in, so many people have woken up and beaten you to those spots that it becomes very difficult to get the parking that you need. So I messed up, and I did not pay the penalty for messing up, thank goodness. And I found a very nice parking spot near the gym, and I got to the gym. I hydrated a little bit. I got my warm-up set going, and the warm-up felt very good. My quads felt very springy on their own, so that made me feel very confident in what my body was going to be able to give me today. And my body did give me a lot. The 135 warm-up went very well. The 185 warm-up went very well. And then I went straight from 185 to 245. Now, last Sunday when I moved up in weight prematurely, I ended up myo-repping set 2. And I just could not get over the mental barrier or the physical pain or the combination of the two. And so I ended up myo-repping after rep 3 on set 2. The assignment would have been 2 sets of 6 at 245. And so I did not myo-rep after rep 3 on set 2. I myo-repped after the 4th rep on set 2. So I just could not break through and just continue and just string it together. So my assignment today was either to go back to 225 for sets of 10 or 11, or to stitch together the 2 sets of 6 that I was unable to accomplish last week. So I decided to go with the 245 to save me some time. And I the first set was good and bad. The bad part was after rep 3, I lost my balance so bad because I was not focused the way I was supposed to. I lost my balance so bad that I ended up taking a step and a half forward because my weight balance was so far towards my toes. And that's a really dangerous place to be. So I had to kind of reset myself, make sure my feet were in proper positioning, make sure that my weight was in proper balance, and then get those next 3 reps with no problem. And then everything went fine on the second set. When I moved down to 205 for 2 sets of 6, that went very well. Then I moved on to the leg press. Last week I did 3 sets of 6 at 405 since I was moving up from 365. Today I bumped it up 2 repetitions because I was feeling so good. So I did 3 sets of 8 at 405 on the leg press. That went totally fine. And then I warmed up for the deadlift with RDLs, barbell RDLs. 1 set of 10 with the bar, 1 set of 10 at 135, 1 set of 10 at 225. Then I put the bar on the ground, and I was able to successfully, although uncomfortably, at least on set 1, to add an extra rep to last week's endeavor. Last week I did 4 sets of 6 at 335 on the deadlift, and today I did 4 sets of 7. The first set I nearly vomited because I think I took in too many fluids, and it was kind of on my stomach a little bit. And so because of that, I really felt like whatever I had ingested up until that part was about to come up. Not a good feeling. But I was able to get my composure, get my head together. I was in a great mental place today, and I was able to rip those next 3 sets of 7 with really not too much fanfare. And then I moved on to my isolations with the leg extension and with the leg extension and with the leg extension and the and and then the leg curl. So that went really, really well. And I cannot believe how good I feel today. I didn't really feel really inhibited in any way for what I wanted to accomplish today. And so I am very, very thankful. I have not felt this good on a Sunday in well over a month, maybe 2 or 3 months. Today's training went fabulously. I'm so happy. I think that's going down to 2 leg days a week instead of 3. I think is actually helping me. I did not want to admit it, but it definitely has helped me tremendously to this point. So I'm going to see if it translates to more size. I'll see, right? Speaking about night 1 of WrestleMania 41, in a word, underwhelming. We've been building to a Jey Uso taking over the World Heavyweight Championship mantle from Gunther. We saw the writing on the wall a long time ago. We knew what was coming. But last night's match was one of the very worst matches I've ever seen on a WrestleMania card in terms of the payoff from the storyline, the intensity, the passion, the urgency. There was none. There was no passion, no urgency, no storytelling. There was just nothing there. And it was so bad that I'm left wondering if Gunther was either very salty about having to give up the title at WrestleMania 41 as the opener too. You're the World Heavyweight Champion. You're opening the show. You might as well be on the pre-show. And, I feel like both of those guys phoned it in. And this is Jey Uso's second straight WrestleMania looking really bad. When he had that whole thing going on with his brother last year, that was a shitty fucking match. And he comes back at WrestleMania 41 after building up all this hype and the Yeet and this and that. I even got on the Yeet train. I got a Yeet t-shirt. I like Jey Uso. Both of those guys performed awfully. And the no-selling from Gunther. Gunther's one of the best wrestlers in the world. The finish, awful. And it put me in a really bad mood. And then the next match was worthless. And the next match after that, and then, they had the, El Grande Americano, and, we were all set up for Rey Mysterio, but he didn't come out, a different Rey. And then it's Rey Fenix, who just signed a WWE contract, just got all this fanfare, and then you basically have him, one of his very first matches in the promotion, be a sacrificial lamb to the Kurt Angle lookalike guy. It's a fuck finish where he doesn't even look strong in it. He looks weak after getting fucked. So there was no story there. There was no heat. There was nothing. And the only thing you did was make Rey Fenix, who is supposed to be, this shiny new toy in the Lucha Libre and all this other stuff. And, he's supposed to be, probably coming together with Penta at some point. And you just basically gave, a cheap win that nobody's impressed by. We all know it's Gable under the mask. And you didn't give us anything to care about. You had Jade, Cargill, and Naomi. That match sucked. The spots were impressive, but it was basically let's all see how impressive Jade Cargill is as far as her physique and her physical prowess. Naomi was boring. I mean, she was a prop out there. The transitions between the spots were, you know, ultra paint by color by numbers. No, there was no inspiration. There was no story being told. There was no passion. There was no urgency. It was sloppy transition, impressive looking spot to sloppy transition to impressive looking. Jade Cargill is amazing. She is crazy strong. She almost blew out her fucking ACL though, trying to go from an unloaded ass to grass position to having, you know, Naomi load onto her back, and then from a static position, basically, you know, do like a fireman's carry squat that was so slow that you would think that she was in a powerlifting competition on her third squat attempt. It looked dangerous. It looked super heavy. It was impressive, but it was more scary than anything else. When me and Mrs. Evil were sitting down to do the show, as soon as the ugly chick that they have running around as a Barbie with the belt going up against the cyborg chick, not Chelsea Green, she's annoying, but she's not like ugly. The chick that has a face that looks like a bell pepper. Up against the Flair chick. I literally asked my wife to make a plate of dinner for me. I took the plate, I went to my bedroom, and then watched the Lakers get shit on. Anything to not watch that match. Tiffany Stratton, who gives a fuck? She's supposed to be, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. She's got no body, and her head is shaped like a fucking bell pepper. Like, what the fuck? I literally got up from my captain's chair in my office and I let Mrs. Evil take the wheel. I had less than zero interest in that match. And of course, the expectation is that, let me turn off this engine. The expectation is that, you know, you're just going to keep putting the belt on Charlotte Flair, and nobody wants to see Charlotte Flair with the belt. Nobody wants to see Charlotte Flair in WWE. Nobody cares about Charlotte Flair. And there's nothing you can do to make us care. She is worse. In this era, she is even worse than what John Cena represented, when they just kept putting the belt on him over and over and over again, and we were tired of the same bullshit gimmick. Charlotte Flair is so much worse. Thank you, JL, for reminding me. The LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, probably, if you want to just talk about the actual wrestling action, probably the best. I mean, the main event had the story going for it, and there was some really cool looking, you know, spots where it was, you know, a 2-man weave, and then they did the 3-man weave with the, you know, the GTS into the spear, into the stomp, and it went round robin. That was a really cool idea that made absolutely no fucking sense. How the fuck do you get GTS'd into a standing position and then you're lucid enough to do a stomp? That was dumb. It was cool looking, but it was dumb. It made no sense whatsoever. But it was cool looking, but it was dumb. But going back to LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, that was a good looking match with two great wrestlers. That's a waste. No matter what you do with that matchup, you are actually bringing down you're bringing down the stock of a guy who is good enough to maybe lead the company. Cody Rhodes is fucking awful. He is the worst main guy in the history of the business. That is a hill I am going to die on. He is the absolute worst lead man in the history of WWF, WWF, WWE. He is the absolute worst. He is so boring, it makes me want to cry and rage at the same time. Cody Rhodes is so awful, it pisses me off. He has the personality and the charisma of moldy white bread. So you take LA Knight and you put him in a match, and who leads the upper mid card? Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. LA Knight should be leading the company. LA Knight should be leading the face of the company. If you want an impressive white man with charisma to lead your company, LA Knight, yeah. Instead, they choose the boring guy with chicken legs and a lisp. He's got no skills on the mic. He's got middling skills in the ring. No charisma. No storytelling. And his whole claim to fame is getting beat up and crying like a little fucking bitch. It pisses me off. That's your fucking lead guy? That's the guy that's leading the company? It makes me so mad that they put a beta bitch as the face of the company. LA Knight deserves to be the face of the company. You'll make way more money. It'll be way more entertaining. I will take Liv Morgan as the WWE champion before I take Cody Rhodes. I'll take Shinsuke Nakamura as the WWE champion before I take Cody Rhodes. I take Ryback as the WWE champion over Cody Rhodes. Can we exhume the body of Macho Man Randy Savage? Can we exhume his deceased corpse and put the belt on him? Anybody but fucking Cody Rhodes. He's fucking terrible. Put the belt on Nia fucking Jax. Give the WWE champion to Nia Jax, and I would be less pissed off. He's fucking there was no passion. They wasted a matchup that could have gone anywhere. They made LA Knight look like a fucking chump. Unacceptable. LA Knight should not be having Fatu go over him for the US title at WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu belongs in more important storylines. LA Knight belongs in more important storylines. And you just took two blue chippers that you really could down the line give the mantle to and let them run with it. And then you basically sacrificed one of them. Bad creative. And there was no lead up to that. There was no cool lead up to that. They're wasting the New Day's heel turn. That was fucking awful. Your World Heavyweight Championship match was basically a pre-show match. Awful. Awful, 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 awful. That was the worst WrestleMania event I've ever seen. And it's not close. It's not close. Even last year, when they were basically sucking Cody Rhodes' cock on his way to getting the belt over basically every interference known to man. you already knew he was going to be champion before he won the Royal Rumble. That was super boring. And last year's WrestleMania was still world's better than night one of WrestleMania. There was very little passion. There was no storytelling except the main event. The main event still didn't make any sense because the build-up was just stupid. I could not get invested in how this became a triple threat. They just kind of forced it together because those guys belong in the main event scene, and they just made up some shit. And they basically pulled a miracle out of their ass with the double, triple cross. And now we've got a full-fledged heel turn, not just for Seth Rollins, which makes his character way more interesting, but Paul Heyman. Did you see that evil fucking look on his face when they were standing tall on the ramp? Now that's fucking interesting. And I don't have to wait until next Friday to get some sort of payoff. Now I'm interested in watching Monday Night Raw. Now I'm interested. Now I got to tell clients, hey. No sessions accepted after 6:30 p.m. I need to watch the opening segment of Monday Night Raw at 8 p.m. Eastern, because that shit is going to be so fucking fly. Like, even though the lead up made no fucking sense, it was like they stirred shit together in a pot and out came gold. And now we don't know what CM Punk is going to do. We don't know what Roman Reigns is going to do. Roman Reigns didn't belong in that storyline to begin with anyway. You know, he should be somewhere around Jay and Jimmy Uso. I don't even know why Roman got sucked up in there. And I really want to see what a heel Seth Rollins is going to bring to the table, because he's been nothing but a whiny little bitch. He is the charismatic version, full of personality version, a little bit sus version of Cody Rhodes. And yes, I would rather the WWE title on Seth Rollins before Cody Rhodes. Really, anybody but Cody Rhodes. So now we got a sinister, willing to do anything to win and fuck people over. Now he's looking like a revolutionary and a visionary. And now he's starting to look like that guy who is, you know, one of these fake messiah types that you can actually see as in a heel spot now. So they took some shit that made no sense. They made a really cool match out of it. There was drama, there was story, there was a lot going on there. And they took some shit that made no sense, and now it looks like they can make it into something that is compelling leading into SummerSlam that is actually interesting. So I don't know how they did that. I don't know how they did that, but kudos on them. The look on Roman Reigns' face after all of that, you know, CM Punk selling his body either being battered, bruised, and or injured, kayfabe or legit, don't really know yet at this point. We'll find out on Monday. You know, that would be that's interesting. I don't know how they pulled that off, but they did. So shout out to those guys for that. My overall rating for night one of WrestleMania 41, and I really do believe that I'm being very, very kind when I give this rating a 3.25 out of 10. Most of the show was soulless, and then you had you had two actually exciting situations. One of them, you basically just took a nuclear bomb and then just shot it into space and wasted it. LA Knight looks like a weak fucking chump. and you wasted him. And maybe they're doing that on purpose so that we can like him less, to force us to like Cody Rhodes. I'm never going to like Cody Rhodes. I always give credit where credit is due. But it's fucking awful. It's awful. It's awful. 3.25 out of 10. And then, you know, they you know, the like the plus of the show was the main event. Like I said, it was cool looking. It had story. It had drama. It had charisma. It made no sense, but they're making something out of it. So I gotta give them that props. So I'm interested in watching Monday Night Raw. We will see what happens on WrestleMania Night 2. They definitely need to fix it. Fix it. That was the worst WrestleMania event ever that I've seen. Now, I know that some people say, oh, this WrestleMania 20, 30 years ago was really bad or whatever. I didn't watch those WrestleManias. I couldn't tell you. But as far as the ones that I've seen, that was phoned in. That was fucking lazy. That shit was fucking boring. Fix it for night 2. We're going to see what John Cena has to give us. Maybe he saves us from this boring ass jar of mayonnaise in Cody Rhodes. Maybe he saves us from that and then does something interesting with the belt and then maybe drops it at SummerSlam to somebody. I don't know. We will see. But night 2 better fucking pick it up. We will be covering all on the Talking Shit podcast starting at 6:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Let's read these comments. Gonna skip the Jungle Gem. Nobody cares, you're boring. That is your prerogative. That is your opinion. Doesn't bother me none. And I have a sneaky suspicion that that's not your opinion. You just wanted to say something that was going to trigger me and make me give you attention. And but I read all comments. You didn't need to do that to get my attention. So I don't know. Have a wonderful day. Let's go back a little further. Kratos says, looks like the Cards are losing this series with the Mets. Yeah, they lost the series already. It is a 4-game set, and they lost the first 3 already, and I'm going to be going home to watch the end of the game. Last I checked, Mets were up 3-0. Clay Holmes is doing his thing. Last I saw. For all I know, maybe, you know, he shit the bed and we're losing the game. I don't know. But last I checked, Mets were up 3-0, and things were looking pretty good. MK Kratos also says, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair legit made me fall asleep 5 minutes into their match, and I didn't wake up until almost the end of the main event. Jey Uso drunk at the scrum. Not surprised. I did not watch the scrum, but that is very, very interesting. Maybe he was happy to get the belt, or maybe the only legitimate excuse that I can give Gunther and Jey Uso is that Gunther might have gotten injured early on in the match, and they had to kind of phone it in to protect him from the injury so that they could, you know, quickly end the match and then get Gunther to get some medical attention or whatever. That's the only legitimate situation where I could say that there was an excuse for how bad that match was. But him being drunk at the scrum, I definitely want to know more about that. If you're going to come by TSP later on, MK3, please come by with more details on that. I'd appreciate it. And again, I got up from the chair and walked away when after Tiffany Stratton came out in the dark Barbie doll box. I don't understand why you have to have an ugly chick as your resident Barbie doll when you actually have attractive women on the roster. Her head is shaped like a bell pepper. She's not attractive. Charlotte Flair shows up in a Rolls Royce Royce Wraith. Oh, you got me out here sounding like Chris Bumstead. Simple, effective. I still don't give a fuck because I don't like Charlotte Flair. I got up and walked out. I watched the Lakers look like a G League team against the Minnesota Timberwolves for a while. Then came back in time to see the CM Punk walkout, which was actually really cool. But I ended up missing the Roman Reigns and the Seth Rollins walkout because I just didn't want any part of seeing anything that Charlotte Flair has to offer. I have less than zero interest in anything to do with Charlotte Flair. Fuck off. Kratos says, JL says, hey Doc, today is my rest day. Hopefully tonight is good. I'll see you on the stream, fella. Kratos says, their match made me fall asleep 5 minutes into the match. Well, color me fucking surprised. The only good matches were Fatu in the main event. Agreed. Last night felt rushed. The crowd didn't care until the main event. Let me say this. I watched a WrestleMania video and they were saying, oh, the WrestleMania crowd was bad. Fuck you. Do you want the WrestleMania crowd to cheer shit that's not worth cheering for the sake? Like, do you think people paid so that they can go to work and make sure that the event looks so good for everybody watching around the world? That's not their fucking job. They paid money to be entertained, and it wasn't entertaining. You got the crowd that you earned. You got the proper returns from the crowd. They gave you the response they were supposed to give you. They were not interested and the crowd was not hot because your fucking performances were ice cold. The lead-ups were ice cold. People paid for WrestleMania months in advance thinking that things were going to be good and entertaining. It was not entertaining, which is why the crowd didn't give a flying fuck. Oh, the crowd was bad. Fuck you. It makes me not even want to watch another WrestleMania video ever again. How the fuck are you going to judge the crowd for not being interested in a boring, phoned-in, color-by-numbers, lazy production? That shit was lazy. It was uninspired. It was not entertaining, so excuse the fucking crowd for not giving a fuck. Kratos goes on to say, Bayley had 6 scrap storylines she was involved in during the past 365. Cody's related to Dusty, but he has 0 of the charisma his father had. And the thing is, there's no way that he's gonna have that charisma. Dusty actually came from nothing. There's a reason why you don't find the captain of the football team becoming a stand-up comedian. They're not going to have the ability to entertain the crowd because they've never struggled with anything. Everything has been handed to them. People are not going to be able to relate to you if you're a stand-up comedian who had a silver spoon in his mouth, who was never picked on and never struggled to get girls. You're not going to relate to the crowd. Dusty Rhodes had to get it out the mud, and that's why people liked him. Cody Rhodes had everything handed to him. Nobody cares about that. And then you didn't take the opportunity to learn how to grow a personality from your father. Like Cody Rhodes' whole thing is he's a whiny Nepo baby victim. That's his whole fucking gimmick. I'm not interested. You can't sell me him as your champion. Because he's a beta male bitch. Kratos says the world title match isn't even house show worthy. That was fucking awful. I haven't felt that deflated with the outcome that I wanted in the match. Never felt that deflated before. LA Knight once had Paul Bearer as his manager in the early stages of his wrestling career in the 2000s. Didn't know that. Rest in peace to Paul Bearer. Kratos gave Night 1 a 5.3 out of 10. I thought I was the only one who hated last night as well. You gave it a slightly above average rating. 5.3 out of 10 says that you thought that the show was good, but just barely over average. If you hated it, that's something else. Kratos says the crowd sat with their thumbs up their asses because the story wasn't entertaining at all. The crowd was bad. What about going to Mania for the prices they charge and getting that show? WrestleMania. Exactly my fucking point. Exactly my point. I don't want to hear a fucking thing about the quality of a crowd. The crowd's reaction is a direct reflection of the effort that you put into the match and how entertaining it ended up being. You got the crowd you deserve, WWE. Hopefully they will take from what the crowd gave them as a response and then do better on night 2. This was very clearly, in my opinion, the very worst WrestleMania I've ever seen. And this is with me getting outcomes that I actually wanted. I wanted to see Jey Uso get the belt. I wanted to see some fuck shit in the main event. And I still hated the show. I don't think that I don't think that they did the right thing. This is where I will agree with WrestleMania, is that the whole everything that they did for the New Day, and then that whole match having nothing to do with Big E was a missed opportunity. And now it's just basically the belt on. They put the belts on heel jobbers. There's no real heat anymore. I was actually invested in the storyline, and now I no longer give a fuck. That whole thing that they were doing when they were, playing the victim, like, what do we do? What do we do? I don't understand what was wrong. We could have fucked them up. That shit was fucking gold. That was cinema. And now they're just, okay, this is our transition into being heels, and then there you go. Now we're just, the guys with the belt that will cheat to win. They're fucking boring. The least you can give me, if you are the New Day, is if you are going to be villains, actually play anime manga villains. Take on their persona, do some corny, super villain manga shit, do something with it. Because right now you're the same old New Day with a new entrance theme, cool clothes, a really cool color combination, but you're basically just the heel versions of the same old jobbers that you always were. Kratos said people were leaving during the New Day match on camera. That's crazy. And you want to blame the people and say that they don't deserve those tickets. Bitch, they fucking paid good fucking money. And you want to tell them how to... It's like these fucking athletes that want to cry and complain when they're losing and performing badly. How could you boo your own players? Nigga, you fucking suck. That's why they're booing. They paid good money to see you perform, and you didn't perform. Now you want to tell people how to express their feelings? Fuck off. I didn't expect to rage this hard and rant. But god damn it. That was fucking terrible. Anyway, I need to go get in some protein, some lunch, watch the end of the Met game, work with a client. I will be back in the captain's chair at 6:55 Eastern Daylight Time to cover night 2. And hopefully we don't get the same excrement that we got last night. All right. Thank you so much for supporting. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done so already. Super appreciate you. I'm going to sign off, go eat some food, enjoy my evening. Signing out. Peace.